Good day, Bashar. I'm Brian from Santa Fe, New Mexico. In one of your previous channeling sessions, you mentioned that New Mexico, specifically Santa Fe, and the ancestral vortex is a good place to change the weather or experiment with the weather. I was wondering if you could go into more detail on that in regard to why that is. And also, I wanted to thank you because in the process of asking another question that I had, I actually was gifted with an answer from my higher self. So as you always say, you're acting as a permission slip, and I kind of experienced that firsthand. So thank you again. Much love. Bye-bye.
Congratulations. Now, different vortices have different qualities. And the Santa Fe vortex, by being connected to the ancestors in a specific way, is connected to a broad range of collective emotionality. And it is your emotionality that actually is reflected by certain weather patterns. So the idea is that in that vortex, it helps, as a permission slip, to amplify your connection to the collective emotional mind, so to speak, of your society. And thus you can see reflections of that connection emotionally playing out in weather patterns on your planet, especially at this time of climate change. There are many chaotic things going on your planet, and therefore the climate is reflecting that.
Hi, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so.
So I've been passionate about the science of path of least resistance in relationship to the science of synchronicity, flow state, and play and playfulness.
Yes, well, they're all interconnected and part of the package of acting on your passion.
Yes. So a few years ago, in 2017, some of our neuroscientists showed that we are hardwired to follow the path of least resistance.
Yes.
And the same scientists, along with some other people, have written about it, that how we need to kind of manipulate this quote-unquote lazy nature. So I think that there is a misunderstanding about the path of least resistance.
There is a misunderstanding because it has nothing at all to do with laziness.
Yes, because they don't know who we are and how we are supposed to operate, and they don't know about the higher self, right, and formula, and
they don't.
They think that,
They don't. So they are mislabeling the idea or the notion of the path of least resistance. It simply means that as you follow that, your life becomes more effortless. You're more capable of accomplishing things. You can do less and get more. It's not laziness, it's efficiency.
Right. And the more I learn about our hunter-gatherer ancestors, I realized, based on your teachings, that they really followed, or those who still live, they really followed the formula.
Yes,
and
of course.
Live on synchronicity, right?
It's built into nature. The idea simply is just like nature. It actually, if your scientists are really observing things, nature uses the least amount that it needs to use in order to accomplish something. So again, it's not laziness, it's just energy efficiency.
Yes. So that's the main reason I think that those hunter-gatherers, they didn't have all of these chronic diseases that we have in our modern society. It's one of the main reasons, right? Because
yes, they had some, but not as many. And it was for different reasons more often than not.
Okay, and then like and it's not health related, but you can say that you don't answer, of course. In a lot of our chronic diseases, it has shown that we have mitochondrial dysfunction, and I think that it's also related to this resistance, mitochondrial burnout or dysfunction.
Yes, all resistance to the natural self will manifest in some form of dysfunction or pain or misalignment or inability to actually activate certain features within you. It is a dysfunctional vibration to be something you're not.
So my question now is, thank you for confirming this, because I wanted to be clarified and confirmed, and so I appreciate it.
Yes.
So now I have a question that if we want to, like, for example, measure this resistance, and maybe some scientists already probably do that and I'm not aware of it, but would it be one of the best way would be, like, for example, showing this mitochondrial dysfunction through oxidative stress and those things, or like through EEG patterns? Or
Oh, it can be done in a number of ways. It's up to the imagination of the person and what they're attracted to use.
Okay. You don't have any any word? I mean, because I'm passionate about this, and I'm not saying, but I thought that.
Well, the easiest and most obvious way is the idea of experiencing what you call negative experiences, negative emotions, negative thoughts, negative behaviors, the things that are disassociative, the things that are disconnecting, the things that spiral downward and separate and isolate in a negative way. Those are the easiest things because they're automatically reflected by the things and events going on synchronistically in your physical reality. So to us, that's simply the most obvious way to know that there's resistance, is what's your life like?
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you so much. That was it, and thank you so much again.
You are welcome. Good day.
Good day.
Hello, Bashar. Good day. This is Miguel from Puerto Rico. I have a question about the window of contact. Now, from 2033 up until 2040, is that contact with the Yael, or is that contact including the third hybrid race, which is the Sasanis, contacting us? Or if there is another window that you can share where the Sasani people will be more closely interacting with people on Earth. And my second question would be, is there even another timeline that you can share where the contact is much closer? It will be with basically anyone who wishes to interact with you guys. If we are on the beach, if we are in our backyard, or wherever we might be, and we see crowds or being, and we could just have a conversation. When could that be in a possible, probable future? Thank you. Good day.
First of all, the timeline is not 2033 to 2040, it's 2023 to 2033 or 40. So that's a large window of time in which different kinds of open contact with different extraterrestrial beings can begin to happen slowly at first, probably in more isolated areas at first, until such time as your people get used to the idea and are more vibrationally compatible with the idea of open contact. Somewhere between 2023 and 2033, you will have open contact, not necessarily with the Yael first, but with another extraterrestrial being. But the Yael will be the first hybrid species to have open contact at the time when it is necessary to start bringing the children permanently to live among you on Earth. Sometime in that window, in those 10 years, 2023 to 2033, that process can begin, not end, but begin. Then, from 2033 to 2040, more likely that many other extraterrestrials, possibly including ourselves, will be able to interact with you along with many other beings. Certainly by 2050, you will have met many different extraterrestrials, including many members of our society, most likely. But the probabilities are always fluctuating a little bit, therefore we cannot be absolutely precise, because we will have to see where you are at any point in that window to determine what is appropriate for that particular moment.
Hi.
Good day.
Thank you so much for talking with me today.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so. Thank you as well.
I'd like to talk about a situation I have where I am highly sensitive to sound, hypersensitive to even small sounds. I'd like to know first what the origin is. I think my mom had the same situation, the same challenge.
All right. Again, this to some degree is connected to a health issue, so we can only give you so much information. But what we can say is, as we perceive your overall vibration, the patterns of stress that you have in the past created in your life that lasted a long time have affected the nervous system in that area in a way that has stripped its buffering mechanism away to the degree that you are now hypersensitive to all vibrations that are sonic.
So does that mean that as the stress I'm currently experiencing subsides, then this might be alleviated?
If you can alleviate all the stress in your life by changing your outlook, your perspective, and your belief systems on every situation where you choose to experience stress, it's possible by the inclusion of certain substances within your body that are natural that you can rebuffer your nervous system so that the sensitivity will diminish.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's very helpful.
All right.
I recently had an experience where there was banging on my wall between my bedroom and my office, and it didn't come from my neighbor or any source that I could detect.
No, it came from you.
It was from me?
Yes, another aspect of your overall consciousness attempting to get your attention at that particular moment so that you would focus on different things.
Because my internet went out right after that.
Again, that's not unlikely when you are dealing with a surge of consciousness energy. It can affect electronic devices. And again, shutting down to get you to pay attention to other things.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Can you clarify the difference between hope and expectations?
Well, again, there may be many interpretations of this, even among your own people. Hope is a state of being that can be used in a positive way to remain in a positive state and fulfill the fourth requirement of the formula. In other words, remaining in a positive state so that you can gain the benefit of things. So hope as a state of being can be equivalent to that idea. At the same time, on the negative side, hope can also be the idea of a doubt that something will happen in the way that you prefer it to happen. I hope it happens, but I'm not sure. So it just depends on how it's being used. And the idea of expectation can be more of a hope that also carries insistence with it. I hope this happens in exactly this way because it must.
Okay. If planet Earth is a holographic universe, can you share who or what species is co-creating that with us?
Anyone that's aware of the idea of Earth, of course. Otherwise, they wouldn't be aware of it.
So it's a number of different ET species working in this holographic universe with us?
Well, yes, when we tell you that you have connections to Sirius or connections to the Greys or connections to any other extraterrestrial, those connections are representative of the fact that they're aware of you, and that means they're co-creating the idea of that relationship in their reality too. Otherwise, there would be no awareness, there would be no connection.
And is there a purpose for having this holographic universe to communicate with us to bring us to being the sixth hybrid race?
Is there a purpose to the holographic structure or a purpose to the connections?
Both.
Well, of course, the holographic structure is just the structure of existence. That's just the way it plays itself out in physical reality. So it doesn't need a purpose, that's just the way it's structured. But you can use it holographically to know that everything is accessible from any point, and therefore allow yourself to see distance as an illusion.
You mentioned recently that there's a mothership not far from our planet right now.
It's not a mothership, it's a space station.
Space station. Is that involved in this this experiment or this?
I suppose you're missing the point here. Anyone that is aware of the idea of Earth is involved in the co-creation of the reality that you're experiencing by being aware of extraterrestrials that are aware of you. Is that not clear?
No, I got it. I understand.
All right.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Good day.
Good day.
Hi Bashar, my name's Renee from Adelaide, South Australia. My question is, I'm just curious whether the Sasani actually have fewer personality types than humans, because it seems to me almost like the personality types we have, the differences are almost a compensation for negative and fear-based belief systems. So I'm just curious if there's fewer personality types, and by the same token, if there's greater individual differences amongst the Sasani, because you're all being yourselves much more than we are. Thank you.
It is true that many of the personalities that you experience on Earth are compensating for the idea of fear-based beliefs. But the idea of the personalities of the Sasani are still wide-ranging. Yes, there is a type of similarity that may exist in all of us, but you will still recognize great differences in our personalities. It's just that they're all on the positive side. So, yes, to the idea of both of those issues.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day to you.
Good day. So, when you were talking about the shells, I didn't feel any personal connection, although I'm sure I have them.
Well, yes, you would have to in order to be physical on Earth,
right,
whether you feel it or not.
Until you were talking about the archetypal shell.
Yes.
I remember I told you about my dream guide named Berwin, and that he showed up in my dreams as a beam of light.
Yes.
It was like a beam of light that wore clothing, and you told me at some point that he was an archetypal path,
yes,
into shaman.
Yes.
And so when you were talking about the archetypal shell, I assume that's where I'm connecting to that
yes,
energy.
Yes.
And that's the form that it takes for me, as opposed to when you were talking about elemental.
Yes. The shaman is an archetype.
Right. Okay. And I guess Earth specific.
Well, it doesn't mean there aren't such things on other planets, but yes, the shaman for Earth would be Earth specific. Otherwise, what would be the point?
Well, I mean, because of my energy being sort of cosmic.
That's all right. You're approaching it from the Earth gate. Therefore, it has to contain Earth specificity as well to make sense to you.
And would I be correct in saying that I focus more on my connection to the top two shells because of my cosmic connection?
Yes and no. You actually do have some strong connections to the elemental shell, but the idea is that it may not be time for that to unfold in your life yet.
Okay, that makes lots of sense. I had a dream recently that was really interesting, where an ocelot came out of the woods, and I knew it was looking for me. And I typically have dreams where big cats or,
yes,
cats are looking for me. I'm scared of them.
Why?
I get to a point in the dream where I'm like, fine, if you're going to kill me, I face it, or, check me out, but don't kill me. And when yes.
They're there to kill a part of you.
What part?
Well, any of the assumptions that they're dangerous for you in the shamanistic world. They are symbols of great power. Take that to heart.
I do. And so I'm curious, because when I take that turn in the dream, in one dream, the jaguar folded into its own mouth and became like a cosmic looking infinity sign.
Yes. Even cats can be the Ouroboros.
Yes. And then in the most recent dream, I told the ocelot, smell me, but don't kill me. I'm chilled out. It smelled me, and then all of a sudden, it jumped back 40 feet and ran away.
Yes.
Why?
Because you weren't ready for the next level yet.
Huh.
Which was okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, last question, ish. Is...
No, let's make it absolute.
Okay, fair. Absolutely last question. So, in this multidimensional way station that Earth is now, where we're seeing into all sort of other portals and realities, and whether we prefer them or not.
Yes.
I'm recognizing that there are a lot of people who, because of the oppressive history of humanity, are going into their fear-based beliefs of trusting less and less
Yes.
of collective sort of organization.
Yes, and splitting off into the parallel realities where they may allow that to accelerate.
Right. And so I was curious from my reality, other than being myself and expressing to them that they don't need to go into fear, if there are other creative ways that you can see in my being that it would benefit.
There are stories that you can write that might be of assistance.
Yeah. Books, yeah.
Yeah. When will you do that?
You asked me that a year ago, and I said a year, and you know what? I haven't done anything.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Next
time we talk, I'll have done something.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Bashar. It's always a pleasure.
Good day.
Good day.
Hello, Bashar. Question about the hybrid children. Do they like to play with weather patterns? My husband and I were hiking in the woods the other day. It was a really nice, clear day. And I could sense that there were some hybrids that had joined us for that walk. And at one point, there was this huge wind. It was like a big whoosh, really, really loud, that just swept through the forest. My husband and I couldn't figure out what that was. And then it started to rain really hard. And somehow the rain was only hitting our backsides. And we started running because at this point we still have 2 miles to go and we were afraid we were going to get caught in a storm. And as we're running, the rain and the wind stop, and then we slow down, and then it starts again, and we start running again. And the entire time, I have the distinct feeling that we're being laughed at and like playfully messed with. And it was something like I got a telepathic impression that one of them had said to the other, "Oh, watch how fast they run if we turn up the wind a little bit." And I was wondering, is this something the hybrids do for fun? Play with weather? Thanks.
Yes, sometimes they are a little bit mischievous and they like to play games like that. But we will say that in the case you are mentioning, while they may have been involved, they weren't the only beings involved in that. Many beings can be quite playful and use elements of your reality to play those games and tricks on you to see what you will do. And they do get enjoyment out of it, but they will never do it to the point where they harm you.